live, but I don't have any audio pushing through yet. So don't worry. I'm gonna let the channel. Yeah, we're live now. I literally just started it. You should have gotten it just now. I don't have any audio playing through. I just have it says start streaming soon. Oh. Oh, there's audio playing through it? What's going on? Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. Today it's just going to be all of the interns, guys. So it's going to be me, Jzak, Todd, Ned, Jzak / Todd, I guess. We got Ned, we got Ryan in here, and we got Dean, one of the newer guys to the podcast, one of the newer interns. You guys have probably known Dean for a long time. He's been listening for a long time. You guys go ahead and say hello.
What's up?
Howdy doody.
Hi, how are you doing?
What's up? All right, guys. So before anybody asks, Captain Negative is not going to be here. Marco's not going to be here. Justin's not going to be here. Tim is not going to be here. This is just going to be us today. And we got a plethora of...
listening?
Yeah, everybody's listening. Oh, they might be. Marco might be. Marco will probably pop up in the comment section later asking everything's going on.
That's what's up.
All right, guys. So before we dive into anything, I got a list of topics going on. Today, I want to address all these sort of topics. We've made a huge list for all you guys to listen in on. We're going to talk about the Tampa Bay game. We're going to talk about what players the Giants should build around. We're going to spark a lot of debates, you guys. So we're going to have debates such as if the Giants should win anymore. Who's more important to the team? Is it Odell Beckham Jr. or is it Saquon Barkley? Is Odell still a top receiver? Is Saquon Barkley already a top running back? How should we fix this offensive line? Who should we draft if Herbert does or does not come out? Does Shermer already need to be fired? Will Lenny Collins get tagged or finally get a deal done? Should we trade Olivier Vernon? Should we trade Janoris Jenkins? And what should we expect from Sam Beal, the injured rookie? All right, guys. So I think, Ned, you wanted to start off with the Tampa Bay game?
Well, primarily, I think that a lot of the opinions on the Tampa Bay game will fall to some of the discussions that we're going to have later in terms of, is JPP going to wreak revenge and should we continue to win? I personally would like to, just for the sake of, of having it happen. I would love it if we ran the tables. I know it's not realistic, but I would love that to happen. In terms of the game against Tampa, it's going to be interesting because obviously you have Fitzpatrick playing, who could end up being Fitzmagic or Fitztragic. It can really depend on the day. So it's going to be I think personally, a very interesting game to see how the rest of our season might go.
Yeah, you got a good point there, and it all comes down to Ryan Fitzpatrick and how he plays, whether he's gonna play like he did. When was it when he fell off a cliff, or the first 3 weeks of this season?
Oh man, Fitzpatrick, dude. It seems like every single time the guy gets a deal done, or every single time he plays good, so teams expect him to play good, he just sucks. And then as soon as you expect him to come out and just suck, he just plays awesome. So
That's
he's
a
like
Harvard quarterback for you.
Yeah, he's like a huge pendulum, Ryan Fitzpatrick. The guy's insane.
So yeah, also the line also played a big part of this too. Both lines.
Yeah.
As you know, the Bucks have Vinny Curry and of course JPP. We got OV and Zoe, and it all just comes down to who get more pressure.
Exactly.
I think
I agree with you there. I really think this game's going to come down to what defensive line can create more pressure, in my opinion. Who's going to get in whose face first. This can be a really good game. I think this will be a good game. I think although our record is worse than the Buccaneers, I think we're both equally as bad of a team, if that makes any sense at all. But that's at least how I feel. I think we have a lot more talent on our team. But
the Giants have been playing to the opponents for years now, so you can't really be surprised about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this game, honestly.
I should probably know this, but is this home or away?
It's a home game.
It's a home game, right? Yeah, it's a home game at MetLife.
Yes, at MetLife.
I mean, I want to go back to what Ned was talking about at the beginning of the year. Jason Pierre-Paul had said something about how he had the Giants game circled on his calendar and he was going to rain down on us. But then this week he's talking about it doesn't even bother him. He's not worried about it. There's no way. Let's be honest. He wants some revenge. He definitely wants revenge against the Giants. But the thing that scares me is this, though. Jason Pierre-Paul, he's kind of like Fitzpatrick, when he gets a deal done, he sucks, right? But when he's got something to play for, he freaking plays.
He's got 8 sacks on the year. I mean, that's not pedestrian.
That's the thing about Jason Pierre-Paul. When he needs to play, the guy can. And I'm a little worried he's going to be a little too motivated, and he's going to be going up against Chad Wheeler, of all people. Nate Solder isn't going to be the guy blocking him. It's going to be Chad Wheeler, So I'm a little worried about Chad Wheeler going up against Jason Pierre-Paul.
How would it be if JPP ends Eli Manning's career? Wouldn't that be weird?
That would be odd. I mean, knock on some wood, but that would be odd.
That would suck, but
yeah.
Oh, we got Alex Tanney coming in there.
Alex Tanney, not even Kyle Lauletta.
Yeah.
Not even suited up last week. That really bothers me. I'm pretty pissed off because I feel like after he got arrested, they're gonna use this as an excuse to not play him. And I don't want to repeat of last year. I want Kyle in there. They're not gonna play him anymore, especially after their drive for 8 games that they got going on now. And this sucks because I want to see they're too it sucks to say my team is too motivated, but they're too motivated to win these last games.
Well, as stupid as it sounds, because the NFC sucks balls this year, they're not out of the playoffs race yet. As stupid as that sounds.
Mathematically not, but heart-wise, they're pretty much stick a fork in them, bro.
Imagine if we had Patrick Mahomes instead of Evan Ingram. Reese drafted right.
We could have got Kareem Hunt instead of Davis Webb as well. Remember that?
Oh my God, we could have gotten Jordan Howard instead of Paul Perkins.
Yeah, but Jordan Howard's stinking it up this year. I mean, I got
Better
him in
Paul
half my
Perkins.
fantasy leagues. Oh yeah, that's true.
Reese just really messed us up.
Yeah, as far as the JPP thing goes, let me just touch on that. All right, because I read a few articles, and every reporter is gonna give their own spiel on the story. And from what JPP says, no ownership called him saying he was traded. No coach, no nobody. He got a phone call the next day from Eli Manning, and I think somebody else called him. So he's like, I won a Super Bowl for this team. I gave it my all. I played with my hand like that, blah, 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 blah. And they don't even have the courtesy of giving me a call. That's what really put the chip on his shoulder. He's like, I put 8 years in with the organization. You'd think at least the coach or Mr. Merritt would call me and explain to me it's a business situation. So, I mean, that's got to hurt. But at the same time, regardless of what the contractual situation is, a team leaves on free agency a player, they're always going to play harder when they play against a team that let them go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to look at it that to it.
I personally think that just based off what I know about Tampa, we don't really need to if it's getting to the point where JPP is becoming an issue, we can sort of leave a running back in the backfield and solely focus on JPP because
but we can't block JPP with a running back though. I mean, who's going to block him?
I'm not putting Saquon up against him. I mean, he can chip.
No.
Yeah, he can chip block. He can chip block and he can chip block JPP and slow him down.
Yeah, but JPP's reach, he'll just push him right back into the backfield, man.
Yeah. We'll see. I think we're starting to overestimate JPP a little bit.
Twin tight end sets maybe. You'll see a little Red Ellison.
Yeah, put a little Red Ellison on him.
Yeah, we'll see. Gotta get tricky every now and then, but we haven't been getting tricky at all. So
I think one thing to mention. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Tampa Bay's linebacking core is absolutely decimated.
Is Lavonte David down right now?
I think he is.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, man. What about Quan Alexander? Is he down too?
I think so.
Quan and Lavonte are both down? Oh, I expect Evan Ingram to go off. I want Barkley and Evan Ingram to be the focus of our offense, and both those guys are down.
I care less if OBJ has one catch, man.
Yeah.
This will be an offensive game, though. Like, their secondary is horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
Ours is.
Well, I don't know. Is Vernon Hargreaves down? I think Vernon Hargreaves. I mean, he hasn't had a big career, but I think he's definitely a worthy rookie. I like Vernon Hargreaves.
Definitely better than Eli Apple.
Friendly reminder:
he's the guy we should have drafted over Eli Apple.
Yes, I agree. From Florida.
I wanted Vernon Hargreaves.
Last week, Tampa had 503 yards that they turned into a grand total of 3 points.
Yeah. They don't put boards up on the board. They haven't been, even with O.J. Howard out there. But here's the thing. They should be worried about Saquon and Evan Ingram, right? Because their linebackers are shot. I'm worried about O.J. Howard. Unless they're going to put Landon Collins on him, I'm terrified because Alec Ogletree couldn't cover a 12-year-old boy running backwards.
He's been getting bad.
He's been getting torched.
Well, B.J. Goodson has been all over the field. He has been around that ball, B.J. Goodson, and B.J. Goodson's
he's more of a field general than like a.
Yeah, he's a real field general type player. All right, but guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. We're gonna go through each person. We're gonna go through this one at a time because I want each person to give their full opinion on this. So, Dean, I'll ask you first.
What's up? I got the injury report for Tampa if you want to know.
Actually, yeah, go ahead and let that out real quick.
Lavonte David is questionable. Quan Alexander is on IR. Sean Wilson's on IR. Evan Smith. I don't know who that. MJ Stewart. I don't even see. Yeah, he's not on there. The corner from Florida. What's his face? Vernon Hargreaves.
Hargreaves?
Yeah. Peyton Barber. Yeah, so they got Hargreaves, but their two best linebackers are out. So Ingram and Barkley can have a big game.
I hope so. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go through this one at a time, each person. So what Giants players should we build around? What should be the main focus? If you can only pick one player on each side of the ball to really build around and explain how you're going to build around him. All right, Dean, you go first.
I like this actually.
One player.
One player on offense, one player on defense on our team that you have to build around, and explain how you want to build around him and why you want to build around him in certain aspects that you do. If you want a good example, I'll go first. If you want an example, I'll go first. So you really know what I mean.
No, I got a good example.
All right, go ahead.
Two names right off the bat for you. On defense, I'm gonna go with Landon Collins for the simple fact that he has become a leader. He has only improved every year. He can play deep. He can play in the box. He lights people up. That'll be my defensive player. And I'm gonna go with Saquon, man, because he's a mini Lev Bell. He could catch the ball. He could run. We still got Shep. We'll still have Ingram. So, I mean, I'm going Barkley over OBJ, but Collins.
Oh, no. You must have misunderstood me then. Whoever player you choose, you lose everybody else. These are your main two players you build around. So if you choose Barkley,
okay.
we no longer have Odell. We don't have Sterling. We don't have Evan Ingram. We lose everybody. Whoever you choose, this is your centerpiece you have to build around.
Barkley and Collins.
All right, Ned, you go ahead.
All right. You're not going to get this until I explain it.
Let's hear it, man.
But Will Hernandez on offense.
I like that pick.
And on defense, I would like to build around. Jeez, man, I have to go with Collins because I really can't think of anyone else besides maybe Goodson that I would really say, yeah, that's someone that I think could really significantly improve over the next few years, because I think Jenkins is gonna start. Well, I shouldn't say start. I think he's already lost quite a bit to Father Time. And with Will Hernandez, the reason why I chose him is because I think he's been an absolute beast this year. I can only see him getting better, and I would like to get in. And I believe that offensive line talent is going to become is going to become more valuable than stuff like wide receivers and running backs in the future. I really think it's going to be a changing marketplace soon. That there's just so few good offensive line talent out there that this stuff, like these positions, man, the demand for them is so great. It's gonna start going up.
Definitely.
I completely agree with a lot of you said. I agree with a lot you said. I think you made some really good points in that one. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, I'm going with the same picks as Dean. My reason is for Saquon, of course, because he could do everything. He could catch, he could run between the tackles, he could take it to the outside, he could block a little bit, and that's the future of the league is the all-around back doing it all. There's no more running back tandems really, other than Atlanta Falcons. So, it's a good safety blanket. He could go deep. He could break off a big play whenever he can. He's just the whole package and all you could ask for.
I agree with that.
And for defense, I'm stuck in between Lorenzo Carter and Landon Collins. Because Carter had showed a lot. Yes, I mean, not yesterday, Monday. He was making tackles all over the place. He's really fast. If you just if you improve him, he'll be what Davion Clowney was meant to be. You know? Yeah, I think we're gonna go with Lorenzo Carter.
All right, I like that pick. Oh man, for me,
Boomer bust.
Yeah, boomer bust. Man, I think for me, man, I think offense. I think I really for offense, like the fan in me, because you have to understand my background is in high school when I played football, I was a running back, and running back's always been my favorite position. So Saquon Barkley by default is my favorite Giants player at the moment, just because running back's my favorite position. He's so good. I loved him out of Penn State. But I had to choose Barkley just because as talented as Beckham is, I think Barkley is just as talented. But he comes in a younger body, a more durable body, and he comes in a way better personality, right? So, I mean, I love Beckham Jr. I defend Beckham a lot with his antics. I defend him so much, but even the problems, the head cases you've had with Beckham, no matter what your opinions are on them, if they were bad, if they were good, you have to agree that you wouldn't have these with Saquon Barkley at all. You know, the only things you're going to hear about Saquon Barkley are good. You know, if you look at his past, if you look at it, I mean, just listen to the way he speaks in interviews. The guy, you know, he's a real mannered kid. I say kid, he's literally a year older than I am, but but you know, you can just see it in Saquon Barkley, and I think his talent on the field has been phenomenal. And this is another topic we'll get into later, so I don't want to speak too much on this, but I already think at this young of an age, at his first year, we're not even through we're not even in the second half of the year yet. When we barely just got into the second half of the year, and I already think Saquon Barkley just might be the best running back in the league. And he's only going to get better. He's only going to get better. It's got to be Saquon, though. You know, as Ryan was saying earlier, the NFL has changed. It's people, we now value these all-around running backs a lot more. You know, I think we're seeing in the past drafts, you've seen these running backs getting taken up so high, and they're all panning out. You know, I'm not saying every high drafted running back's going to pan out, but you're seeing these running backs being taken high, and every running back that's been taken this high in the past couple of years has been the centerpiece of their team. Ezekiel Elliott is the centerpiece of that Cowboys offensive line, that Cowboys offense. Leonard Fournette, without Leonard Fournette, that Jaguars offense wasn't as good as it was a year ago. Not that they were that good to begin with, but they would have been a lot worse. You know, and without Saquon Barkley, we've probably averaged 3 points a game. You know, and Todd Gurley, look at Todd Gurley. You know, statistically speaking, he's having an MVP year. Realistically, I don't think he is. But, you know, and you look at what they're doing. And Saquon Barkley, without him, like I said, we're probably averaging a field goal a game at best without Saquon. You know, if we still have Orleans Darkwa in the backfield, I think we'd be lost. I think our average rushing yards would be negative if we still had Darkwa in the backfield. You know, I'm just being honest, man. Like, I'm not trying to shit on Darkwa, but I just think he's that good. And my second pick would definitely be Will Hernandez, though. Like Ned was saying, I think he's so right on what he was saying about the offensive line. It's just becoming so important. And if you're seeing it throughout the league, teams with bad offensive lines just don't succeed. But if Saquon Barkley wasn't as good as he was, I would probably pick Will Hernandez. But I just think Saquon is that good. And for defense, one person that I think all you guys seem to have left out, I'm not going to pick this guy, but I think a lot of us forgot about him, is Dalvin Tomlinson. You know, Dalvin Tomlinson, he's not putting up the big numbers, but he's constantly in a play. You know, the guys constantly run the ball. He and B.J. Hill, if you watch the film, they've been everywhere. You know, they've been
B.J. Hill's penning out so good.
Yeah, I mean, we lost Snacks, and I thought teams were going to be running all over us, and they're not. B.J. Hill and Dalvin are still
tackle anytime soon.
I know. I'm not picking these guys. You know, I'm just saying that they're panning out. No. But if I did have to pick somebody, I want to say Lorenzo Carter. But I think Lorenzo Carter's got a ton of potential, but I don't think he's shown up enough for me to pick Lorenzo Carter yet. You know, I don't think he's shown up enough yet. Like, Landon Collins has already proved to have an all-pro caliber year. I haven't seen that in Lorenzo yet. If Lorenzo was having one hell of a year like Saquon was, then I'd probably pick Lorenzo Carter just because of how important pass rushes are. But I think because I haven't seen enough out of Lorenzo Carter yet, based off of what I've seen now, I have to go with Landon Collins for the obvious reasons. you know.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. So one thing you guys didn't get a chance to touch on is the way you're going to build around this player. So the way I build around Saquon is, first off, I'm establishing my tackles. I think my tackles are the top two thing I need to establish on, because you have to understand the way Saquon runs the ball. If Saquon doesn't see anything inside, he's going to bounce it out to the outside. And I need a tackle who can hold his block on the outside for Saquon to bounce out. So I'm definitely going to establish
contract though. Or?
Absolutely not. Solder's gone. Solder's gone.
Really, you're going to eat all that money?
I mean, here's the thing. If I could trade him, I will. Right, but otherwise I'll keep him. So I'm not just going to cut Solder. That's just, no, I'm not going to eat that money. If I can trade him, I'll do that. Get rid of his contract, free myself of his money, then I'll do it. But otherwise I'm keeping him. Right, so when I said Solder was gone, I meant trade him. I'm sure there would be some team out there who'd give us like a 4th-round pick for him or something. You know, there'd be some team out there who's that desperate for a tackle, maybe the Jets or somebody. But so that's the way I'd build around Saquon, is I'd get myself a tackles. And then for Landon Collins, what we have to understand is Landon Collins has been so phenomenal in the running game, but he's been struggling in the passing game. So in my opinion,
pass rush.
Yes, a pass rush. I'm either A, trying to adapt a pass rush, or I'm trying to adapt a ball hawking free safety. So I can have that like a young ball hawk free safety, somebody like Malik Hooker or like an Earl Thomas-esque kind of player. Not somebody obviously that skill caliber, but somebody like that I can have over the top and not have to worry about the deep ball being thrown over me, so I can let Landon Collins roam the center of the field, whereas what he is just so good at. So it's either that or like a pass rush. That way Landon Collins doesn't have to cover for so long. I think that's my opinion, the way I would build off of this Giants team that we have so far.
Little side topic there, just because you talking about the Jets reminded me. I don't know if you guys saw, I just found this a little bit amusing. Some guy got arrested on DUI, and his excuse were that the Jets sucked so bad he couldn't help but drink.
That's pretty funny. I'm going to be a cop in a couple years, and even I would have to second guess giving that guy a ticket because that joke is so funny. No, he'd be in the back of my car, but still, that's pretty funny.
Do story about a Giants-Jets game that I will not reveal in the air. I know if Nikki's listening, she remembers.
Yeah.
Hey, little side note. People are like bashing on Gettleman, but no one is realizing how good his pass actually was. We got.
No one's bashing on Gettleman for the draft.
You can't really rate a draft until 3 years after the draft. That's what they technically say. You got to give it a
Hold on, guys. I want to address somebody here in the comment section. Doggy NYC, what's up, man? He says, you guys are lost. Saquon is not the best running back in the league. Most talented, maybe, but the Giants have the 31st ranked run game in the league. What are you watching? Then he says, Darkwood would go backwards. Laugh my ass off. Barkley leads the league in negative hard plays and no gain plays. Shut this channel down, please. Then he says, not shitting on Saquon, but he has a lot to learn. He tries to break every play. He tries to break a bug play every time. Almost never tries to take inside zone and dirty yards. And he says, okay, so I want to address that real quick.
First of all, I got 3 or 4 backs ahead of Saquon, which I never said, bud. So
yeah,
make sure you're paying attention there, because I put a couple people ahead of him. But
when we get to that topic, I'll address why I think Saquon's the best running back in the league. I'll address that later, but I just want to rebuttal some of what he's saying here. Saquon, us having the 31st rushing attack in the league has nothing to do with Saquon. That has to do with the offensive line. And he's talking about Saquon leads the league in negative yardage and yards of no gain. Now, I want to ask you something, dude. Why do you think that has everything to do with Saquon? Like, maybe he leads the leagues in no rushing attacks because he's been hitting the backfield all the time. Did you also know that Saquon Barkley leads the leagues? He leads the league in getting touched in the backfield before he gets the line of scrimmage every play. He leads the league in getting hit in the backfield more than no other running back in the NFL has been hit in the backfield more than Saquon Barkley. And to say that he tries to bounce
like Barry Sanders,
exactly, and to say that he's out and he tries to bounce every play to the outside would just be statistically wrong. If you go watch Saquon Barkley's film, he's actually consistently taken dirty yards I've seen Saquon take dirty yards so many times. I don't understand where Giants fans keep coming out and saying Saquon Barkley still doesn't take dirty yards. If you go watch his games, how many times I've seen him throw his shoulder into the back of the
How many
offensive
times
line.
he jumped over somebody?
That's
At
what I'm
least
saying.
two?
I don't understand why people keep
Come
saying that
on,
he
bro.
keeps trying to bounce everything to the outside. I've seen Barkley maybe on one handful. In a handful of times, I think I've seen Barkley lose yards or have a negative yard because he tried to bounce it outside. Everything else, I've seen him get hit in the backfield. He's bounced outside and just burst out of nowhere, or he's taken dirty yards. So I feel like people are still out there watching his college tape and saying that Saquon Barkley tries to bounce everything to the outside because I'm not seeing what he's seeing. But
And we've had a makeshift offensive all season long. So he's got to gel. He's got to see the hole. The hole is not there, so you have to bounce it out every once in a while.
But
You know,
yeah. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This is a pretty popular topic, controversial topic amongst a lot of Giants fans here. Is should we win any more games? I don't know who wants to hit on that first, but you guys can go ahead.
Yeah, we should. Because what's the point, right?
pride.
Yeah, we have pride. You know, we're not the Oakland Raiders. We're not hanging our heads low trying to score 3 points a game. We're the New York Giants. We won Super Bowls. We have sure to get Justin Herbert maybe if he declares, but you know, why not just win whatever you can? Winning feels so good, and you just can't replace that feeling. Or tanking just doesn't feel right. I don't know.
I mean, I get where you're coming from there. I mean, but I look at it this perspective. Okay, we tanked last year. We ended up getting a top running back. They said a once in a generation running back for that guy that's listening and commenting. But I've seen the Giants so many times solidify a top 10 pick and go on 4 or 5 game winning streaks, barely making 500, and then dropping from the 10th slot to the 17, 18th slot. You know what I mean? I'm saying go out there and fight. I don't want to see him go out there and not fight, but I wouldn't mind seeing him lose a few more, you know, see him beat the rest of the division, and then I'll be happy with that. But the only way we're going to get better, especially what we got going on, is to have good drafts, and that means you got to pick high. Well, not necessarily, but I mean, it all goes to show you could get a Tom Brady in the 6th round, but time a dozen.
I'm going to say, fantasy world, yes, I'd love to see them win more. I'd love to see us run the table, win the division, prove everybody wrong, etc., etc., etc. Realistically, no. There's the two schools of thought. You don't want to tank, or you pull a Philadelphia 76ers and you trust the process. I think that
That was a good reference.
Yeah, it was. That's a really good reference.
I think that personally, because of Jerry Reese's failings in the draft, our actual personnel quality has dipped significantly. And I think the only way to really remedy that and bring on more superstars is to build through the draft. It's going to be a bit of a. It is going to take at least 1, probably 2 more years.
The Seahawks
before-
did it, and they won a Super Bowl in 2, 3 years with a good draft. You know,
Yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry about that.
No, I get exactly what you're saying, and that's kind of my point. Is that we're kind of sitting at an impasse where the Giants organization still wants to win, and because that's really fan expectation was we got sold this. Don't worry, there's still enough. We can still keep going. We're still going to win mentality. But realistically, that's not how stuff has turned out. So I'd prefer us to just embrace the tank for this year and next year. Don't let Gruden fucking get Tua Tagovailoa and ruin him. Give him PTSD or some shit.
Did you just say tank next year too?
Hold on, let him finish. I know where he's going, so let him finish. Let him finish. I know where he's going.
Yeah, I am saying tank next year because I think Herbert is nearly as good as the following year's prospects, and I think that ignoring a first round pick this year, which we could use to trade back, pick up even more picks, and then load up on offensive linemen and defensive linemen, would be really it would be a waste to throw it on the quarterback when we've got so many holes we need to plug up. So yes, I think we realistically need to tank this year and tank next year, and then I think we'll be in a position to be very successful, to be like
Oh man, I gotta say, I'm just gonna cut off whatever Dean was going to. I can't possibly agree more with what Ned just said. Ned was basically just speaking for me. He was just speaking for me. I swear I completely agree. I was Ned and I. He knows. We've been talking off the podcast. And Ned knows how strongly I feel about drafting down this year, grabbing offensive linemen in the second and third round, and grabbing some linebackers and later, and maybe some corners, and then tanking again the following year and grabbing Tua Tagovailoa. Because I feel the same way Ned does. I don't think Justin Herbert's even worth a top 10 pick this year. I wouldn't draft him out of the top 10. I think Dalton Risner, who is probably going to fall to the second round, and I think Trey Adams, because of injury or something like that, might drop as well. They're both great tackles, great pass protectors, and I just think that's the move this year. And the reason why I want us to tank so bad is because I want that high draft pick, because I know the higher pick we have, the more worth it's going to be, and we can just trade down and get more and more picks. But here's the thing, though. And that's the thing, though. It's the thing is, are you willing to suffer for a little bit to be great for a long time?
We've been suffering since 2011, bro.
You guys are out of your minds.
You're not welcome here.
Interns only.
You're not welcome here.
I just want to point out, we had comments saying the Intern podcast was better than the old school.
He was just saying that because we agreed with what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Trey Adams isn't declaring this year.
I just
want to point that out.
Noted.
That's just one man's opinion. But that's the thing, though.
If you think the Giants are going to purposely tank this year,
I know it's not going to happen.
And then next year, what does that make?
I mean, I know it's not going to happen, though. It's not going to happen. And it also means ticket sales go down.
8 out of 9 years of losing seasons.
Yeah,
would
I know.
that make it? Maybe.
Here's the thing, though. I know it. Here's the thing, though. I know it can't happen, though. It's not going to happen.
That's the pride of the franchise you
look,
have?
you're acting like I said that's going to happen. This is what I would want. Like in a perfect world, I would let that happen.
Yeah,
but it's not going to happen because tickets got to be sold. Tickets need to be sold, so it's not going to happen. Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, here's the thing, okay? I don't want us to win. I want that high draft pick, and I'm not saying. Here's the thing. I know no teams really tank. Maybe the Raiders. I don't know, but I just don't want us to win.
Right. No player wants to put bad film out there because.
And I know that. I know that it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I understand that. I feel like we could be so good with these next two drafts if we had a high draft pick. We could be really good.
Hey guys, I'm gonna mute myself for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes, alright?
Alright, man, go ahead.
Can I? Oh, okay.
Handle your business.
I wanted to say that, yeah, you know what? This past time has sucked, but we brought that upon ourselves by letting Jerry Reese continue to be GM. He had absolutely abysmal Browns level drafting, and when you let that happen, and you let that happen continuously for years on end, yeah, you're going to have a period of time where you're going to have to suck to get better. There is two choices here. We can tank and then be good, or we can become walking mediocrity. And what I'm talking about there is we're constantly picking number 10 continuously on and on and on until we happen to get lucky and get a great break in someone or get an absolute steal in the draft. That you will have to rely on sheer luck.
You realize Jerry Reese single-handedly built a team through the draft and won a Super Bowl.
Smith. Remember good Steve slot receiver Smith. Who else was in that draft? That was a great draft.
Here's the thing, though, man. I mean, we shit on Jerry Reese a lot, but if you're gonna shit on Jerry Reese
out of nowhere,
yeah. I mean,
no one had him going in.
Here's the thing, though, man. Here's the thing about Jerry Reese. If you shit on Jerry Reese for taking Eric Flowers, for taking Eli Apple, you have to give him the props for taking, like Marco just said, JPP, for taking somebody like, say, Odell Beckham Jr., Evan Ingram, Dalvin Tomlinson, all players who I think have been pretty well. You got to give them the props for those picks as well. It's not like Hakeem Nicks as well. You can't say he's just been horrible. He's had a lot of successful picks as well.
He's good at choosing receivers.
Sterling Shepard too,
Not
yeah.
really.
No, he's not bad at choosing offensive weapons. Sterling Shepard, Odell Beckham, Evan Ingram.
How about this Ramses Barden? Okay.
Ramsey Spartan. Everybody thought Ramsey Spartan was going to be good.
David Tyree only had the first Super Bowl catch and an helmet catch, and it was a wrap for David Tyree. Then you got Sonoris Moss. Okay, who else did he draft?
Who was that guy who Reese said was going to be the JPP of tight ends?
Adrian Thomason. Adrian Robinson, maybe?
You know who I'm talking about. The point is, he clearly fucking was not.
PG, please. PG.
No. Travis Beckham, too. Travis Beckham was supposed to be nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no
Give
one.
me the big Ned.
No one's 100%.
Yeah, I mean, Marco's got a point. Nobody's 100%, man. I mean,
nobody's 100%.
So far in our first draft with like Gettleman and Shermer, they've been pretty damn good. But let's give them another year to see if they're this good again. You know, I mean, everybody's talking about how great of a draft Gettleman and Shermer put together, which is true in my personal opinion. And I'm not even saying this because I'm a Giants fan. I just honestly think this in terms of pure talent. I think the Giants had the best draft this year. I think they won the draft, but let's see how they perform again next year in the draft before we can really decide how good of a draft these guys are.
So when we got Weston Richburg and he played phenomenal for 2 years, and then he just fell off the wagon his third year.
He was hurt.
So what is this?
He played hurt his third year.
What did this great draft get us? What's our record?
2-7 now.
How much of the team have they kept?
Okay, yeah, but
this team is more or less his team or not his team?
This team is more or less his team.
Oh, after this season, after what I think is going down, it's going to be a cleaning shop.
Before the season started, he already overturned the roster 68%. So
yeah, but even still, but the roster we had before that wasn't that good either. People act like he took a good roster and turned it horrible. He didn't make a good roster
68%.
horrible. Our roster was already horrible.
Yeah, and he got rid of those players and brought in people that he think he would do better. And
I don't like any of his fucking like free agent signings.
Yeah, I don't care for his free agent signings. I love his draft picks so far.
Chop off his hand when it comes to free agent signs and trades.
His draft picks I thought were phenomenal.
Literally just confine him to the draft. Like put him in his own little room. With, like, draft
just go watch some film and draft somebody. He's just trapped in a room on Saturdays, with a notebook and a pen.
Watch his film on his Nintendo Wii.
Yeah. He's gonna sit there with a notebook and a pen. He's coming out like, I just want to watch the game. He's like, get back in there and watch some college football.
Hey guys, I'm thinking of signing Jonathan Stewart back in the room.
Back in the room. Go watch Tua Tagovailoa. Shut up. All right, I think we've been stuck on this topic for a while, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next topic is, I think we kind of touched on this a little bit, but we can go into more detail now, is who is more important to this Giants team? Is it Odell Beckham Jr. or is it Saquon Barkley moving forward?
I'll give you a quick answer, and then I'll leave you guys to finish up your show.
What's up?
The most important player on this Giants roster is not there yet. It's our next quarterback.
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking about as of now.
That's cheating.
That's cheating, but, hey. Marco came in here to cheat and just bounce.
Yeah, I'll leave you with that. Good job, Good job, guys. And
I'll see you, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks,
Everybody say goodbye to Marco, our host here.
Later,
All right, who wants to take this answer first?
I don't know.
Maybe this is just...
Go ahead, Ned. Sorry.
Personally, I think Odell, at least because we've got to transition to a new quarterback, and I think him and Odell have got to mix, and if they can mix, I think that'll be really key in transitioning this new quarterback into the NFL and easing him into it. Because, yeah, a running back helps. We've seen that with Dak, his rookie year. But what happens if Saquon gets injured or something like that? When you don't have people to pass to, you become the Dallas Cowboys last year / this year, and you fucking suck. I think it's
well. I mean, you can't say anything about last year. Last year, the Cowboys' offense was good, but it was good because Zeke was running up and down the field constantly. So I mean, last year their offense was good. Last year their offense is better than it was this year.
Well, my point is that I think Odell is going to be key to developing our new QB.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be Odell, simply because if he can throw to Odell, then and he's comfortable doing that, maybe that helps him start being more comfortable throwing to other people, and then all of a sudden, hey, look at that. We've got ourselves a good quarterback.
I gotta agree, and it's gonna be odd for me because, like I've said before, Saquon Barkley, already my favorite running back in the league, already my favorite New York Giant on the roster. He's probably gonna die. I'm probably gonna die with him being my favorite New York Giant ever, unless another running back comes to the Giants who's even better than Saquon, which I just don't see happening. So I gotta state how much I love Saquon Barkley before I answer the fact that it's clearly Odell Beckham Jr. in every aspect. It's Odell Beckham Jr. And before you come at me and say something like, "Well, Saquon lines up at receiver as well," it's like, yeah, but where's Saquon doing the majority of his work? Is he doing it on the ground or is he doing it in the air? And he's doing it it's a rhetorical question. He's doing it on the ground, and the reason why Odell is more important, it's not like if we already had a solidified quarterback, I would say it's Saquon Barkley thick and through. But because we're going to have a new quarterback coming in, you have to give that quarterback a legitimate, dominant weapon to lean on when in times of pressure. And I know Saquon Barkley can be that guy. I know that Dak Prescott looked absolutely phenomenal his rookie year, which realistically, if you know football and you know how to analyze, you know he actually didn't look that good. But to the untrained eye, Dak Prescott looked phenomenal because Ezekiel Elliott was making that happen. And without Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott would have had a rough rookie season like he's having this year, like he had last year. But I think a new quarterback needs a dominant weapon as somebody as Odell Beckham Jr. And I think Odell is just so good at just being what he is. Odell's a head case, right? Let's not beat around the bush. He's a freaking head case. Sometimes he makes you wonder, like, why'd you do that? Why are you doing stupid stuff like that? But when it comes to the future of my team, if we have a new quarterback coming in, which we will, it's got to be Odell. If we already had a solidified quarterback, I got to run with Saquon Barkley. But like I said, it's Odell for every reason that Ned said. It's Odell, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Mahomes, honestly.
He's leaning on Tyreek Hill,
Yeah, and that's helped him have a crazy MVP-worthy season. He's in that discussion right now. If we can get a QB like that, and who cares if they're leaning on Odell?
Yeah.
So what? They're having an MVP caliber season, and that means we're probably going to the playoffs.
Yeah. But like Ned said, when that new quarterback comes in, I think Odell is going to be more important to him than Saquon is, because here's the thing: is a quarterback, in my opinion, doesn't really need to build chemistry with his running back. He just got to hand him the ball and hope that his offensive line and that running back would do something for him. A new quarterback's got to build chemistry with his receiver. They have to time the routes together. He has to know when he's going to throw that ball on those curl routes, on those shoulder fades. He has to know where this quarterback likes to throw the ball, and this quarterback has to know how this receiver likes to run his routes. And I think having a dominant presence like Odell Beckham Jr. over there that constantly requires a defense and defensive coordinator's attention is really going to help ease a new quarterback into the NFL, whether that be, God forbid, I hope not Justin Herbert or Tua Tagovailoa or just anybody, Will Grier, Kyle Letta, or Teddy Bridgewater. I think this quarterback's going to need somebody like Odell Beckham Jr.
Well, I'm a quarterback myself, and I think Barkley is actually a better choice for quarterback because he can run routes. He could, a running game is a quarterback's best friend, and if you have a strong running game, then you could pass off with a
shitty quarterback.
Receivers.
Like I said, kind of like what they did with Dak Prescott the rookie year.
Not like Dak Prescott, because I don't like, I don't like check down quarterbacks. I like going deep, throwing the seam routes, throwing, go routes. But, a good running game could really help out a really young quarterback.
Yeah. Man.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Barkley could just catch so well, and a good receiver could be taken out of a game.
You're right.
If you get the perfect scheme against him. But a good running back, he could do so much. He could go out, he could catch passes, he could block, he could run routes, he could obviously run the ball, he could bounce it outside, he could keep it inside, he could give you the play action pass threat, he could go deep with it, and there's just all around back like him. I think he's more important.
Man, I don't want to be this guy, but like reading more comments and thinking more about it and then listening to what you're saying, I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to change my mind so quickly, but I have to say that I think Saquon's starting to make a little more sense. Like, you're kind of right. Like, I wasn't thinking about how much the run just really opens up the passing game. Here's my evidence for this, right? So like 2 years ago, what was our offense? It wasn't anything. Was Odell having a dominant year? Yeah, he was. Our offense still wasn't. And why was it so hard to
throw it?
And that's the thing.
No
exactly, that's the thing. Like, every team knew we were throwing consistently. They knew we were throwing. And if a team knows you're throwing, then it's so easy to stop you. But if they have to worry about you running the ball, it makes your offense so much more versatile. Like, if I had to choose a dominant running back and average receivers over having dominant receivers and an average running back, I would go with the dominant running back and the average receivers.
You get the Cowboys.
You kind of get the Cowboys, but the Cowboys didn't have average receivers. They had below average receivers. Now that they just got Amari Cooper and Allen Hurns is going to maybe solidify himself a little more, and they get a decent tight end, just a decent one, I think this Cowboys offensive line might get this Cowboys offense might get better, but then again, Dak Prescott isn't really that good. But you have to think about it like this. Look what Fournette did to Blake Bortles. Fournette made Bortles look like a decent quarterback. Blake Bortles is garbage. And as I say that, somebody just comments this right now in the comments. He said Fournette carried Bortles. He really did.
We talk about, Tyreek Hill and how he's Patrick
Amari
Mahomes'
Cooper's
best friend,
ass. No, I don't think
really, Kareem Hunt is opening up that game so much.
You're right, yeah. Kareem Hunt's a sleeper.
Put an extra man in the box.
He's a sleeper move of that offense.
Put an extra man in the box. You could go up the seam. You could go up the sidelines. You could, just throw deep. And it really just depends on your quarterback as well. Because if you have a quarterback that just thinks and dunks, then
yeah,
you have a shitty quarterback. And if you have a quarterback that likes to take chances, 50-50 balls, and all that other stuff, then
yeah,
it's a pretty good team. Just like the Rams.
Yeah.
Even though I think Todd Gurley's a bit overrated, but
I think he's a little overrated as well. Yeah.
He's still opening up that game to Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp.
Who actually just got hurt, by the way, torn his ACL. Yeah, torn his ACL.
Yeah.
That's really sad because I love Cooper Kupp, but yeah, he tore his ACL.
Brandon Cook's gonna hook
Do you
it
think
up now.
that's sad? He's on my fucking fantasy.
Oh man, you poor guy. You poor bastard. All right, guys. If
Hopefully
anybody else
he's
have
no
anything more to
9-year-old.
say, if anybody doesn't have anything else to say, I'd like to move on to the next topic. Unless you guys have something to say, go ahead and say it. Anybody got
No,
anything
we're
else? All right. I was gonna go straight down the list, but I don't want to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. 4 times in a row. So let's go ahead and move on from Odell Beckham Jr. The topic was going to be, is Odell still a top 3 receiver in the league? But I'm kind of sick of saying his name. So let's move to, what is y'all's view on how to fix this offensive line? Do you think it's going to come through the draft, or do you think it's going to come through the free agency, or do you think we're going to have to use a huge mixture of the both?
Draft,
Well,
ideally.
mixture of both.
Mixture of both by far. You can't get studs in every round of the draft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It'd be
But
great.
we haven't
to
been
have
too
the-
successful with free agency in the offensive line these past few years. So, like, we have to. I don't know, man.
It'd be great to get like 20-year-old, all offensive line, all pro stuff like that.
But here's the thing, though. The difference between grabbing somebody in the free agency and grabbing somebody in the draft is, when you grab somebody in the draft, you don't know if they're going to be like, I don't care what anybody says. Nick Bosa
They're
is a
super, but
phenomenal
that's
talent.
about it.
Nick Bosa is a phenomenal talent. Saquon Barkley, generational talent, and in college scouting him, I thought he was the best running back I'd ever lived through seeing come out of college. Me personally, keep in mind I'm 20 years old. I started watching football. I started really watching football at the age of like 13, right? In my opinion, Saquon Barkley is the best running back with my own eyes, have ever seen come out of college football. Even I could not guarantee that Saquon Barkley was going to be a good player, right? But when you grab somebody in the free agency, you know what they're capable of. You've seen them play. Right?
Adrian Peterson was a beast in college.
Yeah, he was. Oh, my God.
He was a beast.
Here's the thing,
Bo
though. I think
Jackson.
it's going to have to be a combination of the both. You know, because I think in the free agency, there's some decent tackles in the free agency this year. There's Darrell Williams from Carolina. I really hope they don't sign him. I think he could be our big sign in the free agency. He's a right tackle from Carolina. Darrell Williams, very young. I think he's like 25. Let me go look at his age. 24, even better. I mean,
You think we got a shot at getting maybe Greg Little?
but
Trey
no,
Adams
I
in
don't
the
think we have a
second
shot.
round?
But here's the thing. My opinion, I think the best pass protector in this draft so far has been, Darrell Williams is 26 years old. I would love to sign him to a long-term deal. But the best pass protector in this draft, according to Pro Football Focus, take their numbers with a grain of salt, is Dalton Risner, a right tackle. I would love to take him in the second round. I think we have a very high second-round draft pick. I could definitely see Dalton Risner coming to us.
We don't have a third though, right? We lost.
We
that
don't have a
with
third round this year. That really sucks.
we
I
might
think we
get
should.
one from-
I think we should trade one. I think we'll trade somebody to
We
get a third
two
rounder this
fourths,
year.
though.
Yeah, we have
get
2
two
4. We could
fourths
use that to
back.
trade up into a third if we need to. But
Wait, do we? Is it guaranteed that we have 2 4s yet?
no, it's
Yeah, we
guaranteed.
got it
It's
now.
guaranteed. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got it with the Apple
Okay,
trade.
So
Seventh.
wait, would that be 3
And an
with
extra
the
seventh,
conditional?
actually.
3 with
Or
the
are you
conditional.
including the
No,
Yeah,
that's
are you
We got
including-
conditional for
we got the
someone
conditional
else,
for
one.
Sam Beal.
Yeah.
He was our conditional draft pick. That was third rounder.
No.
So add him to another for
I
two.
think
If he
because
comes
we
back
cut
healthy.
Omame, I think because we cut Omame,
Yeah.
we're going to a 4th round conditional for losing Pugh.
Oh yeah, I think we are. You're right.
We're giving one away, or we're getting one.
We're getting one.
Another 4th rounder.
I believe so, because we cut Omame before the 10th week, which was one of our major additions. So
Yeah.
because we didn't technically gain Omame, that gets thrown off. So we lost Pugh, and we didn't gain back Omame, which should theoretically get us a 4th rounder.
Yeah, I mean,
We shall
like I
see.
said, I think it's got to have to be a combination of both. I think there's a lot of good second round, third round offensive linemen in this year's draft. I'm not even sure if I think Greg Little's the best tackle in this draft. I really like David Edwards and Jonah Williams, and Dalton Risner's a
Williams is
great
good.
tackle. I think Dalton Risner's a great right tackle. I think he'll be a great right tackle. I really do.
I think Pierce Parker would be a really good interior.
Some people like
offensive
Isaiah
line.
Prince. I think Isaiah Prince is a little overrated in my opinion, but some people like him. But yeah, all right. But I think it's definitely to come from a solid both. I think you want to get a solidified person in the free agency and then draft somebody who with a lot of upside, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's been the game plan, fellas.
Yeah.
Next topic.
All right. Next topic is gonna be this is controversial. I don't want to stick on this one too long because I know the chat will get focused on it too much and it's gonna get annoying. But this is one I just want to get out of the way. Is who should we draft? Considering we have a top 5 pick, who do we draft? And I want to hear two answers. One of them is if Herbert comes in, does declare, and one of them is if Herbert does not declare. Dean, you can go first.
What
player
are we talking about?
Let's somewhere in the top 5. We're somewhere in the top 5.
All right. Well, Nick Bosa's going to be gone already.
I would say let's considering we have 4, 5, 3 at the highest. Who should we take in the top 5?
I mean, if we got a chance to snag Bosa, depending on what our record is, I mean, there's no question there. We could use an edge rusher, especially if we're gonna keep doing a 3-4. If we don't get him, you know what? I'm gonna be. You're probably not gonna like this pick, but I'm gonna go with a corner. Maybe Baker out of Georgia, just for the simple fact that if we can get the pass rush down, there might be trades looming. We'll talk about that later in the show. But if Sam Beal doesn't come back healthy, we have no corner depth. And if Landon Collins is going to stay, say Sam Beal comes back and plays well, you can match him up with another corner, another press corner, which would give the defensive line more time to get the quarterback. So I mean, we haven't been doing good at picking corners early with a Prince of Markamara and Eli Apple and who else do we get? Freaking Will Peterson, Will Allen. But I don't know. I think this kid got some spunk, so we shall see.
All right. I think if Herbert comes out, it's hard to not draft Herbert because, he's a quarterback.
Oh, I forgot. I thought you said if it didn't.
No, I said if he does or doesn't. So,
Yeah.
What's your answer if he does come out? You want to take him?
I mean, I'm gonna go with probably 80% of the United States. They take him.
Yeah. Okay. For me, it's like if he does come out, it's really hard to not take what could be your future quarterback. It's really, really hard, man. The thing is, from what I've seen so far from Herbert, I don't even think he's worth the top 15 pick. In my opinion, I would have put him below Baker, below Sam, below Josh.
He's in the Josh Rosen range.
I would have put Josh Rosen ahead of him. I think Josh Rosen is a better natural thrower.
Marcus Mariota.
I don't think Justin Herbert has a lot of talent. I think he's got a lot of I think people are masked by his physicality. They see him as a big guy, big arm, and they're like, oh, look at his body. Like, I don't care about how big he is. Look at Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was at least easily, in my opinion, the best quarterback in last year's draft, and he's like 6'1". Look at Drew Brees. He's in the argument for the best quarterback of all time. Not saying he is. I don't think he is. But he's in the argument, and look how big he is. I don't care about – and Drew Brees doesn't have the biggest arm.
Right.
He doesn't have the biggest arm, and he's a good quarterback, I can't – it's hard to not take somebody – like, it's hard to not take somebody who could be your future quarterback, for the next 15 years. But it's also really hard to not take the best player in the draft, who, in my opinion, is Ed Oliver. I think Ed Oliver's got so much talent, and I would love to take Ed Oliver and put him at defensive end.
But the defensive tackle is so deep.
Yeah, but you can play him at defensive end, though. He could be a 3-4 end. I would keep Dalvin Tomlinson as my primary nose and put him opposite of BJ Hill. I'd put him opposite of BJ Hill.
Not even 300 pounds.
He's like 295. He's like 295. I'd put him opposite of BJ Hill and just let his physicality. I mean, in my opinion, he is as close to an Aaron Donald replica as you can get. Aaron Donald, in my opinion, is the best player in the NFL. If position didn't matter, Aaron Donald is the best player in the NFL year in and year out. And
we wanted him that year.
And we wanted him. But my thing is, I think Ed Oliver, I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Aaron Donald, but I think he's the closest thing to Aaron Donald we've seen since Aaron Donald. And I can't pass up. It's hard for me to not take them. So if Justin Herbert and Ed Oliver are both at my feet, I'm in between a rock and a hard place so bad that I might just pass out, honestly. But I think overall, because of the QB talent the next following year and the lack of defensive line talent, I think the year after that, I think I would have to go with Ed Oliver, even if Justin Herbert's at my feet in the top 5. Like if I had like a 15th pick and Ed Oliver was gone, then I think I might just take Justin Herbert. If I'm like pick 15, I think I would take him like a mid first rounder. I could do it. But considering he doesn't come out, then it's just, this is so easy. It's Ed Oliver or Nick Bosa, whichever one is there. And if neither of them are there, then I'm trading down and grabbing more offensive linemen. That's just my thing. I know it took a long time, you guys, but you know, I feel like I really had to say all of that. So Ned, you want to go after me?
Preach on, brother.
I can let anyone else go if they want to go first.
Well,
All right, Ryan, go ahead.
I'm pretty conflicted on Justin Herbert because on one hand he's huge. He has a huge arm. On the other hand, he kind of reminds me of Derek Carr. But he could also be Andrew Luck, you know. And you know he's a huge arm. He's 6'6".
Wow.
But you know, you just never know with quarterbacks. You never know how they're gonna turn out.
You remember
Ryan Mallett?
Ryan Leaf?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was like 6'6", big hand. Look how far it got him. But he's doing good things for veterans. I appreciate he's got a movement for veterans.
Yeah, he does.
Disabled veterans. And it's called Merging Veterans with Players. You guys should check it out. Does real good things.
I mean, you look at someone like Ryan Leaf, but you also look at someone like Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning, who also has that kind of physical build. You know, big hands, big arm, big frame. You just never know when you get a quarterback. And I think if he has a shot to be Andrew Luck, then you might as well get him. And if he fails, then we tried.
No.
But if he's not on the board,
he's not even close to Andrew Luck's as a prospect. As a pure college prospect, he's not even close to Andrew Luck. I think the closest thing we have to Andrew Luck as a pure prospect is Tua Tagovailoa.
I'm talking about potential though. Like
even still, I don't think he shows that Andrew Luck potential. I think Andrew Luck is one of a kind.
I love Andrew Luck, but he's a great guy.
For real though, the Colts got fucking carried by getting like 2 generational talents at QB.
Yeah, they did.
You know,
I'm jealous.
Me too.
Yeah, but he hasn't figured out. You wanted him though. He hasn't. I mean, it's tragic about all the injuries. But what has Andrew Luck really done?
I mean, he's been good.
He's been pretty good.
Yeah, he's just had a shit team. And that's on the fucking Colts.
So what are you saying?
I mean, you don't understand, dude. Andrew Luck has been hit more than any quarterback in the last few years. Like, you don't understand.
That's true.
He's been hit consistently, and he's also playing phenomenal right now. Andrew Luck is balling, and partly, actually, according to Pro Football Focus, the Colts actually have a top 5 offensive line right now, according in terms of pass blocking.
Yeah,
as I say that, somebody in the chat just said Colts O-line is ass. Not according to Pro Football Focus. They actually have a top 5 offensive line in terms of pass blocking right now.
The Saints have the best one, I believe. Right?
No, I think they rated the Steelers as the best, but they said it's because the Steelers were playing some bad talent. They said the Steelers will probably come down.
Fucking.
Roethlisberger's also been overrated. But
he's been overrated, yeah.
Captain Fat Fuck.
He's got the best receiver in the game. James Conner is playing phenomenal ball. He's got
I mean he is, but a lot of it has to do with that offensive line, dude. A lot of it has to do with that offensive line. That offensive line has been playing better than James Conner has.
Seconds, one play. 5 point something seconds. Yeah. One play. He had to just sit there in the pocket. You look at poor Eli, maybe 2.3 at best, and he's hitting Beckham on a slant. So I mean, I feel bad because I think that Eli Eli's twilight years kind of got diminished by the team that was put around him the past 4 or 5 years. I know a lot of people don't like.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. You can't just baby Eli because Deshaun Watson. Actually, oh my God, literally, me and this guy Doggy. He keeps spitting stuff I'm about to say, but Doggy literally just said Deshaun Watson actually gets hit probably just as much as Eli, but he's performing better than Eli, But it's also because they run the ball a little better at the Texans.
And he's got wideouts. We got wideouts that can extend the play, but Eli can't extend the play. Play that sound. That's Eli trying to scramble that you play.
Oh, this one. That's Eli when he's trying to scramble. This song right here. This is Eli Manning when he's trying to scramble.
At least Deshaun, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, they could step out of the pocket, let the receiver run more than one route. You know what I mean? But Eli's just a statue, and that I think that part of the NFL is getting faded out.
Yeah.
I think it's coming into more athletic quarterbacks, and you could just see the speed of the game has changed.
I don't think a pure running quarterback is ever going to be too good, but I think a running back who can run is just the future of the NFL. That's another reason why I want Tua Tagovailoa. The guy can do both. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about Tua. I'm not trying to be up this guy. I'm not trying to be up Tua's ass right now, but.
I think Tua's been overrated.
You think Tua's overrated? Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. Go watch his film.
He's Dak Prescott, the stronger.
No! Go watch his film, dude. Tua is consistently putting the ball on point. Even Pro Football Focus thinks he's the best quarterback in the nation right now. Him and Kyler Murray, I think his name is Kyle Murray. They think those are the two best quarterbacks in college in the nation right now. No, dude. Tua is oh my goodness.
In the college football.
Tua's phenomenal. His receivers are playing great, but Pro Football Focus, they go and break down how the throws come out, if he was in pressure, and when he's not in pressure, he's the best quarterback in the nation. When he's under pressure, he's still the best quarterback in the nation. Under pressure, he's the best thrower in the nation. Even when he's got a hand in his face, he's just phenomenal.
Excuse me for a second, but I gotta backtrack.
Sorry,
Are you guys insulting Eli the Blue Blur Manning?
Oh my goodness. He's the fastest quarterback in the NFL. Fastest QB in the NFL.
Oh.
Oh my God. Some say he's even faster than Usain Bolt, but
some say.
Yeah, but this dude dunks on his brother
Yeah, Eli has dunked on Peyton before.
Listen, he played basketball. How are you that methodical when you're running the ball? He looks like my grandfather.
Did somebody
after
just
he had his hip replaced.
compare Tua Tagovailoa to Tom Brady? Who did that? Oh, never mind. Sorry. Some guy just said Tua won't translate well into the NFL. I don't know what you're watching, buddy. I don't know what you're watching. I see nothing but NFL caliber throws. I see nothing but Tua throwing NFL caliber throws. Name one QB. Name one Alabama QB that is translated. What does that have to do with anything? I hate when people say that. Alabama QBs suck. What is the past college QBs? This past player is not this new player is not the past player. I don't care if QBs from that college haven't panned out. If you do your scouting and you know what you're looking at, you can tell if a QB. Really, right? Yeah, Sam Darnold, in my opinion, although his number's not that good, I think has actually played pretty well for the Jets.
Matt Leinart.
He's playing all right.
Clark.
Whatever. I'm not here to talk about that. But if you guys are ready, I'm ready to move on to the next topic.
Make it a good one.
Sure.
I'm coming up to a good one. This is the debatable one here. Does Pat Shurmur already need to go, or has he shown enough to make him leave or to stay?
Well, they gave McAdoo 2 years, so I'm.
But to be fair, McAdoo's first year we went 11-5. The first year he did not perform. He was gone.
He had Tom Coughlin's team.
Yeah.
Just you know what I mean. So it was kind of like, what's his face? When John Gruden went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he beat his old team.
Eric Dungy?
You know what I mean? So
Tony Dungy.
Oh, Tony Dungy. You're playing with somebody else's team who they drafted, and they did that, and you already had the system down. So you went 3-13. So Shurmur came in, inherited what? Even though in the beginning of the season on paper, with the moves we made, the acquisition made in free agency, and the draft, everyone was excited about the Will Hernandez. It was 50-50 on the Barkley. But, I mean, we got Lorenzo Carter. We were doing good. Then we got Sam Beal in supplemental draft. We had our height. We were heightened. But Pat Shurmur pretty much took over a crap team with a horrible offensive line. You can't just Rome wasn't built in a day. You know what I mean? You tell me how many quarterbacks in the league right now that you could put behind this Giants offensive line and get a 11-5 win team out of them. Give me 5 quarterbacks.
I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go with Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson. Oh, I only need one more. Hold on. Let me go again. I got Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson. I'm gonna go with Pat. Oh, I want to say Brady, but he's not mobile enough, for my opinion. Maybe Watson. Maybe Deshaun Watson. Yeah, maybe Deshaun Watson.
And they're all. You see where you went there? You went all mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
All who can extend the pocket.
Yeah.
Leave the pocket. If collapses, you roll out, and your receivers get even more open.
Yeah.
It's just, and I've noticed. I've been an Eli fan. His arm is not there no more.
No, it's not.
He does not have the same spunk.
Here's the thing. Eli's constantly under pressure, but there's a lot of throws he makes. Even when he's not under pressure, the throws just aren't there. The ball's not where it needs to be anymore. Yes, anymore. The ball's it's not where it needs to be.
Going over the
All right, well, let's move back on to what the topic was. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, right? I don't think Sherman needs to go, but I'm gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate here and say this. Okay, so yes or no question. I'm asking all you guys. Before the season started, did you think our roster was better than it was the year before?
Absolutely yes.
Absolutely yes. Yes. Okay, so if that is true, why is our team playing even worse than it did last year?
They're not
bad vibes, man. It's that locker.
Because Marco came in here, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I didn't have the answer for him. I didn't have the answer for us, and it was a little irritating that I couldn't come up with an answer, even though I don't think he's right in this. I said that I think we had the best draft in the league. And then Marco came out and said this, which I didn't have an answer for him, which irritated me a little bit. He said, then why is our record so bad? What is his draft and his free agency signings? What have they done for this team?
That makes a point, though.
It makes a point. But I think I have a minor response for it. And my response is that, well, yeah, kind of like what you said earlier, Dean. You said Rome wasn't built in a day, right? He took a really shitty roster and added some good pieces to it, but we didn't have enough good pieces to make a good team. Right?
It looked good on paper.
It looked good on paper, but but that's the thing though. Is it our coaching? Is it our draft? Did our draft actually suck?
You gotta add injury too.
The only injury we had that mattered was maybe Sam Beal and Olivier Vernon, but even still, our defense hasn't improved at all with Olivier Vernon. It hasn't improved at all.
I mean,
I also shipped off Apple.
Who?
The O-line. I think we should have kept Brett Jones.
Yeah, I think we should have kept Brett Jones. Yeah. I think DJ Fluker should have never left. I think DJ Fluker should have been our right guard.
He's played good in San Diego, too.
Yeah. I think Brett Jones and DJ Fluker both should have been on our team right now. I think Brett Jones should have been our center. DJ Fluker should have been our right guard. And I think our offense, maybe not phenomenal, but is a lot better right now with those two on it.
Yeah, because Fluker was strong at the point of attack. And Brett Jones, for a small dude, was really strong as well. So...
Fluker was really good in. Wasn't really good holding up though.
We're not the only ones suffering from the lack of offensive line. The Jaguars are starting. Who is it? They're starting Flowers and who was? It was someone else we let go. Give me a second.
Already the best O-line in the league.
Eric Flowers on your team? Already the best offensive line.
Norwell?
What, is Eric Flowers really starting on another team right now?
Yeah. Jaguars.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What? Yo, dude, what if he goes over there and balls out though? I'm gonna be so pissed off. I would be so pissed if he goes over there and breathes like the next Lane Johnson. I would be so freaking pissed off, man. Oh my god. Oh, it's not gonna happen. I'm just saying, I would be so mad.
Remember the Andrew Norwell hype?
Yeah, he hasn't been performing too well either.
Nah.
He hasn't been horrible. He's still been the best. He's still been the best offensive lineman on that team. But even still,
No, he hasn't been the best offensive lineman on the team. The center has.
Are starting.
Oh yeah, right. Linder has.
So I think all we need to do is release Solder, and he'll get picked up by the Jaguars, and then they can just imitate our offense.
Yeah,
There we go.
cap it. How much would that cap it be?
Nah, I mean that was.
Wait, so the Jaguars picked up Omame again after we cut him?
Yes.
He came from them.
Yeah, they have Omame and Flowers are starting right now on the
Wow,
Jaguars.
some guy just said, I completely disagree with what this guy said. He said we should have kept Fluker,
also-
Richburg, and Jason Pierre-Paul. I'll keep Fluker,
Also-
but Richburg and Jason Pierre-Paul can both have just skedaddled. I don't care about either of them. They could have both gone.
Flowers and
Pierre-Paul's
Flowers,
just making
if
too
I
much
remember,
money.
has been starting for like a few weeks on the Jaguars, so you could probably find some stats for him on the Jaguars.
His first game as a
Richburg
Jaguar, I
and
think
JPP
he was,
both were
like,
not worth their contract.
He gave him like 10 pressures.
Yeah, no, I know he's been abysmal on too. That's why I find it so funny that they're basically like imitating the Giants' offensive line. It's like if you had to pick one, why would you choose us?
Why would you? I don't understand why any team would see Eric Flowers' tape and be like, yeah, let's go ahead and sign that guy. Like, I would literally rather put like a traffic cone in front of a defensive end instead of putting Eric Flowers down there.
Build a snowman.
Just build a snowman and have the guy run around that. Like, it'll still take him longer to break that snowman and get around it than it would to put Eric Flowers in front of him. Oh my goodness. My God. Eric Flowers was like that kind of guy who would talk a lot of smack, and then as soon as you put your hands up, would instantly drop to the floor and beg you not to hit him. He's like that guy.
Do you see his Instagram?
No, I haven't.
It's so funny because like things like he's fucking shit and like, oh my God, it's great.
That's crazy. All right, let's go move on to the next topic, you guys.
I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
before we move on. Flowers is more effective at blocking people on Twitter than he is at his job.
That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one.
Hey, Fluker follows.
Commenting.
No, Fluker still follows me.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
He blocked me from commenting on Instagram.
Did he really? You got blocked by Eric Flowers on Instagram?
From commenting.
Oh, wait, who? Oh, from commenting on his Instagram?
Eric Flowers.
That's pretty funny.
Not Burr blocked me.
That's funny, man.
I told him he was a scrub.
All right, next topic here. This is one I want to talk about. So, and I know a lot of people in the comment section roast me for this, and a lot of people still don't think I'm this, but I see it. But is Saquon Barkley already a top running back in the league? When I say top, I mean like top 3 kind of running back. Is he already a top 3 back in the league? I'll let you guys go first because I'm going to talk for a long time when I go. So I'll let Dean go first. Because, Dean, you said you had like 5 backs ahead of him, which I don't even understand that's possible, but I want to hear your argument. I don't even understand that's possible. Go ahead.
All right. Barkley is 9th in the league in rushing and 8th in the league in receiving. Over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns, all right?
Yeah.
I'll give it to him. Through 9 games, he's beasting it. But I still got to put Todd Gurley ahead of him. I mean, I know you guys are Todd Gurley. Even Melvin Gordon, nobody even mentions. That dude's constantly in the end zone, whether he's catching passes or running it. Look at his stats. Kareem Hunt. Okay, Kareem Hunt's playing ball. And as much as I hate Cowboys, and I hate to even mention a Cowboy, Zeke is balling too. Yeah. I mean, so you take that all into consideration, but Saquon's a rookie, okay, with a terrible offensive line. Zeke, he was set up great. He had a great offensive line. Todd Gurley's got a good offensive line and other weapons. So they have other pieces around him, especially Hunt. But for strictly talent-wise, the things I've seen Saquon Barkley do, I mean, I've only seen a few people in my life do moves like that, and that's Barry Sanders and what's his? I can't even remember his name.
What, Bo Jackson, Adrian Peterson?
Campbell?
No, not Bo Jackson. Old tape of Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, best NFL player of all time, in my opinion.
I mean, the kid's skill set at both and receiving. He could use work on the blocking. But I mean, as far as these other backs got more time in the league. You know, you could even put Alvin Kamara ahead of him.
Nah, I wouldn't even dare.
No way.
I wouldn't even dare.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm a Giants love Barkley, but he's borderline top 5 for me.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I said I'd let y'all go first, but now I really want to cut in here real quick. All right, so Dean, I'm gonna mention the guys you said above. You got about Saquon, right? You said Zeke. I mean, you said no, yeah, of course. You said Todd Gurley. Now, I can say this from the bottom of my heart. I don't think I have any bias here. All right, yes, I'm a Giants fan. Yes, Saquon Barkley is my favorite Giants fan. But anybody who knows me from this podcast or any listeners who's been listening for a while has heard me say that before Saquon Barkley was a thing, before he came into the draft, Todd Gurley was my favorite back in the league, and I consistently made an argument for him being better than Ezekiel Elliott, who certain people were saying was like the third best back in the league back when it was like Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, and Zeke. I consistently made an argument for Gurley being better than he was. So you have to understand when I say that he's good too. But here's my thing: Todd Gurley he's having statistically a good year. But I just watched a video today, and I'm glad Marco's not here to hear me say this. But I'm going to talk about another YouTuber about Samuel Gold. Right? He just made a video. You guys can go check that out after the podcast. He just made a video titled "Why Todd Gurley Should Not Be the MVP of the Season." Now, I'm not going to base everything I say off of his video alone. But he did mention in that video he watched every rush from Todd Gurley this season and broke down that Todd Gurley was able to run about 3.3 yards before he had to do anything. Consistently, if Todd Gurley didn't make any move, his offensive line was giving him 3.3 yards. So if he would have just taken exactly what his offensive line gave him and then flopped, like just took a knee, he would have averaged 3.3 yards per carry. Saquon Barkley would only average 2.2. A lot of these other running backs would only average about 2.7, 2.9. I think he had like Kareem Hunt was averaging 2.9 based off of purely what his offensive line was getting him. His offensive yards per carry is about 5. I think he's about 5. So he's only really getting about 2 of those yards on his own. Todd Gurley's been phenomenal, but that offensive line has been so good. And you have somebody like Sean McVay, in my opinion, who's probably the best offensive play caller in the NFL right now. He's calling your plays. I think there's a reason Todd Gurley is so successful right now because of Sean McVay and that offensive line, more so than him. Do I think Todd Gurley is phenomenal? I do. But I don't think Todd Gurley is putting up those kind of numbers if you put him on the Giants. If you put Saquon Barkley on the Rams, I think Saquon Barkley is not only having an offensive rookie of the year, I think he's having a legitimate MVP kind of season, in my personal opinion. Right? Then you mentioned somebody like Ezekiel Elliott. Don't even get me started on that Cowboys offensive line. Ezekiel Elliott's a great runner, but that offensive line is phenomenal. You put Saquon behind that offensive line, and I can't even imagine what kind of rushing numbers he's putting up. You mentioned Kamara.
Yuzufi in the comments just said something very. You should read it.
I'll get to that in a second. Yeah. And you put Saquon on the Saints, along with Drew Brees and that Saints offensive line, he's putting up another big number. He's putting up another big numbers. You put him behind Kareem Hunt, and that better off. You put him behind the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes at QB. You take all these running backs, like all these running backs that you want to make an argument for, saying that they're better than Saquon. I think if you put Saquon on their team, he performs better than they do. I think it's obvious Saquon Barkley is the most talented running back in the league, but I think there's a legitimate argument for him being the best now. I think that if you put him on these other teams, he's doing way better than they are. He just is. I think he's special. And I'll read his comment right now. He says, Saquon is an all-purpose back. He's not going to give you 100 rushing yards every game. He can, but it's not behind this line. He'll get you 100, 200 yards scrimmage yards a game. However, that's way more valuable. Exactly. I think that's I believe it. I think that Saquon's an all-purpose back. It's even more valuable than just a pure runner. It's just if I'm going to take one running back for one game, I can't think of another back who's more versatile than Saquon Barkley. I don't know another back who's as equally good on the ground as he is in the air. Kamara is better in the air than he is on the ground. Todd Gurley's better on the ground than he is in the air. Todd Gurley's better on the ground than he is in the air. Ezekiel Elliott's way better on the ground than he is in the air. Kareem Hunt's way better on the ground than he is in the air. Saquon Barkley is as equally good in the air as he is on the ground. If Saquon Barkley actually goes out in the slot, you have to pay attention to him, just like you can Kamara. You actually have to worry about that. If he's in the backfield with a decent offensive line, you actually have to worry about that. There's certain backs that are a little one-dimensional, but even the other backs in the league who are two-dimensional, they're not as dangerous on both aspects of the ball as Saquon Barkley is, in my personal opinion. All right, and I don't want to ramble too long. I want to let somebody else speak because I've been speaking for too long here. So if anybody else wants to take on
Hey,
after
that
what I
was
said.
your topic, man. Now you can take a breath.
Yeah.
All right, so try to build your perfect running back. You'll end up with Saquon Barkley, right?
Yeah.
Size, speed, hands, maybe not blocking, but run between the tackles, run outside the tackles. He has everything you want. Christian McCaffrey with hands. He's Todd Gurley with. He's how about Derrick Henry with power. He's he's Le'Veon Bell with juke move. He's everything that you want. I just don't know how you cannot already say he's a top one running back, especially since what's his name? The guy from the Rams. I'm blanking out. What's his name?
One thing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you in again. I'm so sorry. But I also wanted to say this real quick. The Saquon Barkley is putting up all these numbers. A little interesting fact for everybody. Saquon, if you go, I don't remember his exact number, but Saquon Barkley's yards after contact have also been very high. So if anybody wants to say that Saquon Barkley isn't good, running between tackles, you're just completely wrong. His running between tackles numbers have been good. And last thing, I swear to God, I'm gonna let you finish. And the guy you're looking for is Todd Gurley. Saquon Barkley has been hit in the backfield more than any running back in the NFL this year. Just wanted to say that last thing. Go ahead, Ryan.
J-Zach is basically the equivalent of Kanye West. I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan. That was really the last thing I had to say.
So Todd Gurley is doing that Saquon is supposedly doing, but Todd Gurley is 20 pounds lighter. Saquon is 20 pounds heavier. He has more power than Todd Gurley. He's probably more faster than Todd Gurley, for being honest. He's better juker than Todd Gurley, better hands. I just don't know how you could put Todd Gurley ahead of Saquon Barkley already. He's just the best back in the league, in my opinion. All right, I'm done.
All you, Ned.
Yeah, I think he's the top back in the league. There we go.
Nice. That was great. I do want to. Giants fan bias at its best here. I mean, I personally think I'm pretty good at keeping my bias out of my opinions when it comes to players, but yeah. But now I want to play one game. This wasn't on our topics, but I've seen this on an NFL talk show before, and I think it's a very fun game to play. I want to see what this guys. So we're gonna pick 5 backs, right? What back would you choose for one play? What back would you choose for one game, for one season, and for the next 5 years?
Well, you gotta break it down a little. Not the one play. What is it? A 4th and goal?
Doesn't matter. Any play. It's a random play. I'm literally I'm spinning a wheel, and that's the play it is. So you have one play. It could be any play, anywhere on the field. One play, one drive.
One play.
Well, I'm sorry. One play, one drive, one game, one season, and then 1 year, and then for the next 5 years. I'll break it down one more time.
Is it one play on the ground though?
Let me write this down.
Doesn't matter. It can be on the play. It can be in the air. It can be anything. One play, one drive, one game, one season, and then for the next 5 years.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Now, are we including everyone in history, or are we just doing?
Oh, just the current right now. Current backs right now.
Oh, current.
Current running backs. Current running backs.
I was going off right there.
Oh, of course. That's not fair to ask all these past running backs. It's current.
I was about to say okay, one play. If we're going through Giants history, probably Brandon Jacobs. Just consistently get the thing. I was running through all the options.
No. All right, let's go ahead and go. Let's get with it though.
Giant?
What?
They have to
All right, so one play.
No, they don't have to be Giants. It's any running back in the league. Any backs in the league.
If it was just Giants.
Oh no, that would be horrible. It'd just be Saquon. Yeah, no. And you can't use a running back more than once. You can't use a running back more than once. Any running back in the league. One play, one drive, one game, one season for the next 5 years. You can only use a running back one time.
All right, for the next 5 years, I'm gonna choose Paul Perkins.
Oh, the best. For one drive, for one season, it's got to be Orleans Darkwa. It's got to be Orleans Darkwa for one season. For one drive, it's got to be what was his name? Shoot. Wayne Gallman. Yeah. For one play, it's got to be
Derek Ward.
Derek Ward. There it is. Oh,
David
man.
Wilson.
David Wilson.
Next
Yeah, David
5
Wilson.
years.
Oh, don't speak of David Wilson. I miss David Wilson.
No, we're friends.
I miss David
Yeah.
Wilson. It's too soon. It's too soon. Don't talk about David
We're
Wilson.
friends on Instagram. I talked to him.
It's too soon, man.
Guys,
I love
He's
David
really
Wilson.
good, man.
Honestly,
David.
the next
Awesome.
5 years, I'm gonna go with Jennings.
Rashad Jennings.
I'll go with
Rashad
Shane
Jennings, dude. I forgot about
For 5
Rashad Jennings. No, dude. Andre Williams for the next 5 years, please.
No,
Andre
how about,
Williams. Mr. No Vision.
Ron Dane for 5 years.
Oh my God. All
I
right.
think
We're forgetting the most impactful Giants running back in all history, Eli Manning.
Eli.
Stop. Play the song. Play the song again.
I'm gonna go with Nathan Peterman.
Tom Brady, definitely best running back of all times. Let's not talk about David Wilson like that, though, guys. This guy was phenomenal. He was a beautiful player. We miss you, David Wilson. We miss you, David. All right, I'll go first. We'll move on. Let's move on to the let's move on to the question here, though. So I think for me, for one play, I'm gonna go. I think I had to go with like Kareem Hunt, just because I think I think Kareem Hunt's a little more versatile than people think, and I think Kareem Hunt has that. He has that probability to be able to break a big run because he's got really good vision and balance, but he's also strong enough to really just force his way into the end zone. And for one drive, I think I got to go with like Ezekiel Elliott, just because Ezekiel Elliott can really wear down a defense. You know, Dean, you want to mute your mic real quick, man. But Ezekiel Elliott could really wear down a defense, you know, with his yards after contact. He can really tire out a defense for one drive if I got to, you know, shed some time off the clock. For one game, I got to go with Todd Gurley just because he's so versatile. And for one season, I got to go with Le'Veon Bell. The guy's absolutely phenomenal, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already forgot about Le'Veon Bell. But I think Le'Veon Bell speaks for himself. And for the next 5 years, I got to take, my personal opinion, the best running back in the league, the youngest good running back in the league, and Saquon Barkley. So those are my 5.
I got my 5 ready.
Go ahead, Ned.
All right, let's hear it.
Go ahead, Dean. Let me hear.
One play, I take Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
One drive, I take Kareem Hunt. A season, I'd take Gurley. A game, I'd take Le'Veon Bell. In 5 years, I'd take Saquon.
You got it. Yeah, I think everybody's 5 years is going to be kind of the same here.
Well, he's brand new.
Yeah,
bro.
he's
got
brand
fresh
new.
legs.
He's fresh legs, and he's so talented. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ryan, let's
All
hear
right,
it.
so for one play, probably Melvin Gordon. He could
Nice.
catch, you know, yeah. I like Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
For one drive, this is weird, but I might choose either Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey.
I like the Christian McCaffrey pick. That's a sleeper pick, but I think I'd take Kamara over him. That's a good pick.
For one season, Le'Veon Bell. For next 5 years, of course, Saquon.
Yeah, of course.
I
somebody
forgot the game. I got one
somebody just said next 5 years, Jonathan Stewart.
That's Kizduffy, yo.
That's the best
Kizduffy's
pick. Jonathan Stewart.
I love it.
That's phenomenal. I swear to God, man.
Oh, boy.
Jonathan Stewart, man.
Robert Martin.
Robert Martin.
Robert
Adrian
Martin.
Peterson, next 5 years. Yo, he's
David
playing out of his
Gettleman.
mind, though. Playing David Gettleman. Cancer and all. Get on that field. Cancer and all.
Yeah. Listen, I forgot the poor man had cancer. That's fucked up.
Ben McAdoo.
I wouldn't mind that. Shane Vereen, I said that, yeah.
Shane Vereen, that's a good one.
I wouldn't mind having
All right, go ahead, Ned. Let's see yours, man.
Jeez. I was too busy making memes in my head to like actually come up with a good idea.
Oh,
So how
man.
about you just give me?
All right, we'll
'cause
skip it then.
it-
We'll go to the next topic.
If not, you're just going to get like
Saquon.
horrible answers.
All right, let's go and move on to the next topic here. Dean, you want to take care of your mic, buddy?
Sorry, yo.
It's okay, man. All right, let's go with this one. Should we
Ty
trade
Ty
Olivier
Montgomery
Vernon?
next 5 years.
Ty Montgomery. All right, this is a good one. I think it's gonna be a good topic here. It's should we trade Olivier Vernon? And if so, what should we trade him for? Like, what do you think is the best we can get for him?
Yes for the cap and literally anything.
Literally anything. Bag of Doritos. I don't care.
A conditional 7th round pick.
Conditional 7th.
Yeah. Well, you want to know how much money this dude's making right now?
Like 15 million?
Listen, this year, 12.75 mil, 17 mil cap it. Next year, 15.25 mil, 19.5 mil cap it.
God, man.
The next year, the same exact thing.
He needs to be gone. He needs to be gone
Listen,
yesterday, man.
He missed 4 games last year. Okay, he missed 5 games this.
Ryan, your mic.
He has a total. He has like a total.
Your mic.
Oh, the coppers are coming.
19 sacks.
They heard us make a joke. They heard us make a Jonathan Stewart joke, and they're coming for us.
The cops are coming.
They're coming because the Jonathan Stewart.
Joke. Right, pay this dude.
Yeah.
And what would you tender him?
Here's the thing, though. If
we got a fourth for freaking Eli.
I know, man. Here's my thing. Should we trade him? I think it's an undoubtable yes. But the thing is, like, I don't know what we can get for him because if he didn't have such a ridiculous freaking contract, I think we could get like a 3rd or maybe even a 2nd round pick. Like if we traded him and maybe like a 7th and 6th round pick, I think we get it as high as a 2nd rounder. But because of that contract, I think we might have to trade him for like a 4th or 5th.
Yeah,
because of the contract.
This year and
he's not even old. Million. He's like 26, 27.
No, he'll be 29 to start of next year.
He's just injury.
No.
Yeah.
No, Olivier Vernon is. Oh my God! This sucks.
And listen,
we're stuck.
We got him in.
We got to get a bag of Cheetos for him, dude. Like, not even the good kind of Cheetos, like those green jalapeno ones, man.
It ain't even worth Cheetos. Listen,
not even the good Cheetos.
2016.
Dude, I'll take a fruit basket at this point.
I'll take a fruit by the foot for him, you know, a bag of Gushers or something. Man.
No, but realistically, I got a realistic trade, right?
Yeah.
So the Jets, they need a pass rush.
The Jets do need a pass rush.
They got a young quarterback. They could afford Olivier Version's contract.
They have a huge cap.
So it's like a 3rd and a 5th for Olivier Vernon.
No
a
way.
3rd and a 5th? No.
Yeah, maybe
no.
If you drop the 3rd.
Yeah, maybe you drop the 3rd, we'll probably get that. There's no way we're getting if we get a 3rd round pick, it's going to be that 3rd round pick, and we're going to have to give them something else, like maybe like a 4th or 5th round pick to go with it if we want a 3rd. Right. But the 5th round pick, I can see that.
Never on the field. He's never
4th this year, 5th next year.
We got better for you or them than you. Take it.
Somebody in the comment section said we'd trade Olivier Vernon for a napkin, a penny, a potato chip, and a grape Jolly Rancher.
Oh,
dude, a great Jolly Rancher.
That's worth it, man.
That's like top 3 Jolly Rancher flavors.
That is, man. He's not even worth the top Jolly Rancher flavor. Man, dude. We're gonna have to like give Olivier Vernon away and give them some cap.
Yeah, we're gonna have to let Saquon play half the season for him.
Yeah, we're gonna put Saquon out there as outside linebacker. Come on, Saquon, carry us. Put Beckham out there at corner or something, you know?
Yeah, right.
All right, so I think we've all answered the question of Olivier Vernon.
Carry win at safety. Carry win at safety.
Carry win. I think we've all answered our question here. Let's move on to the next guy, which I think I can see the answer for this one as well. But what about Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit?
Ooh.
Trade.
I mean, I think that's an easy yes trade. But what are we going to get for him?
Not a lot, and that's why I don't know that you.
Yeah, but there's some stipulation contract though that I.
Go ahead, bring up the contract numbers.
Okie dokie. They redid his contract this year. You remember how they gave him? I think it was like $4.5 million up front.
Yeah.
As a bonus to lower the cap hit.
Yeah.
So he would have made $10.15 million this year. With a $10 million cap hit.
Gosh.
Next year he's making $10.15 million with a $14.75 cap hit, and the year after that $10.15 million with a $14.75 cap hit. Now he had came out like a week and a half ago saying, and this, I'm going to quote what this guy wrote in the article. He said, I play football to play football. If they trade me, bro, they trade me. I don't care. It is what it is. And then in the comments it says, now I don't know what dead cap hits mean, but it says if he's traded, he'll carry a dead cap hit of $7 million and then 3.5 over the next 2 years. So I don't know where the salary or
3.5 ain't bad.
Yeah, 3.5 isn't too bad. The 7 that's horrendous.
So
yeah,
I
but
don't
if
know
you're
how
going
that
to tank, you're going to tank next year anyway. Why not? Right?
He'll be 31 next year, the start of the
That's the
season.
thing. He needs to get out of here, dude. Like, and how much longer is his contract for?
2020.
Took this
2020.
organization.
So we could either keep him to his 32 or trade him now. You know what? You know what, guys?
Yeah.
I don't think we should trade Vernon. We can either keep him to his 32 or trade him now. I mean, not Vernon, but Jenkins. I mean, I could keep him to his 32. You know?
Yeah, but he's getting burned. He don't look like
He is. No, he's not getting burned left and right. He had a good game last week. You didn't hear his name?
Yeah, last week.
Last week. Yeah, you're right.
Nick
Yeah, you're right.
Mullen,
Yeah, you're right.
who the fuck's?
I don't know, man. That's such a hard. It's a hard one, man. It's a hard one.
somebody
Like
just said trade him for a dildo in a Fit game.
in a Wii Fit game.
Yeah, same dude. Oh
down.
boy.
Man, I don't know, dude. Like I want to trade him, but the thing is, realistically, what are we gonna
lost
get for
all
him?
the family members.
Dude, I'll
Podcast.
give you my Fit balance board.
All right, jokes aside, though, what are we gonna get for him? You know, like what team wants a corner?
No way.
Like what team is that desperate for a cornerback that old?
Oh, go back to his old.
The Rams.
And they're down to keep Talib.
They are down to
They could
keep
use a
Talib.
corner.
They are down to keep Talib.
They
Yeah.
could use a corner. Give us pay off.
Yeah, but their
pay off his
cap has
contract.
also been nice.
Yeah, they're
Fifth
capped
round
though.
pick.
They're capped though. Maybe the Browns. Yeah, Steven says the
Bucks.
Browns.
Yeah,
The
maybe
Browns could go
Browns.
corner. Somebody to pair with Denzel Ward.
Yeah.
Watch
Bucks do
Washington
that.
try to get him. Or
Like, if we're gonna trade him, he's gonna have to go to a team that's in win now mode. A team that thinks they have a legitimate shot who needs a corner. Like, how many teams think they have a shot who need a corner? Because nobody, you don't pick up somebody. The Saints, yeah, the Saints.
they could use him as a nickel.
Well, it's not. We can't trade him now though. You have to think about the year after this. What team is in win now mode the year after this year, who need a corner this old? How many teams are in win now mode next year?
Oh, he said we were offered a third for Jenkins before the trade deadline last.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't take it though. We wanted the second, which we're not gonna get. I would have taken him for that third round pick.
We gave Apple up for a 4th and 7th.
That was worth it. That was worth it.
Yeah.
Apple needed to be gone. He was a cancer. I don't know. I think
but
realistically
if
we could probably get a 4th now for him next year,
But
third.
listen, if Jenkins, okay, so remember how in the beginning of the show when we were talking about who we would take at the top of the draft?
Yeah.
Okay, now put this scenario in. We trade Jenkins, he's gone. Okay,
We got Greedy
we
Williams.
have no corner.
Yeah, I know. That's the
Sam
thing though.
Hill
We'd
doesn't
have to
come
grab a
out.
corner.
Ball out. We
Yeah.
have to take a corner high.
Yeah.
Or go get one and overpay.
I do like
for-
DeAndre. I do like DeAndre Baker. I think DeAndre Baker could possibly fall to the second. I think he's the best corner in the nation.
Or we tank.
Oh, we
Well,
tank.
Tank.
Yeah.
I mean, we could.
That's the thing
Can't
though. Like
do
we
that.
need to get out of his contract and his age, but without him, we don't have a corner. We don't have any
We do
corner.
have-
Like even with him on the
Sam
team,
Beal.
we need
Sam Beal's
corners.
done. Yeah, I know.
Even with him on the
Even
team,
with
we
a
still
healthy
need
Sam
corners.
Beal, we-
Yeah, even if our team was fully healthy, we need more corners.
Yeah,
you
that's
can never have
why
enough.
I said we're going to have to tank
Never.
at least next year too,
Yeah.
because we've got so many fucking holes.
We have
on
way
this
too many holes. This team is like 2-3 years away from being good. I'm sorry. I was
Yeah.
saying this last year before the season started. I was saying this team is a couple years away from actually being good. We have too many holes.
Unironically, like Jerry Reese basically took this organization and like threw it into a fucking car crash before he left.
Yeah.
He
Somebody.
he
Oh,
will
this is
go
right.
down
Kiz says
one of-
Ronald Darby's a free agent this year.
People will remember Jerry Reese as one of the worst GMs for the Giants.
Man.
Mark my words. That's
I
what
can't
it
believe we almost went
go down.
checklist, bro.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. Let's go ahead and get out of this one here. I guess now we
almost
can.
went through
We
the whole
can.
checklist. That's awesome. Dude.
Yeah, we only got 3 left. I say we wrap it up. I say we finish them. So let's go down to this
do it.
one. Is Odell Beckham even still right now a top 3 receiver in the league?
I'll go last.
All right. I'll go first then. Last year and the year before this, you would have heard me argue that Odell Beckham Jr. is the best receiver in the league because he was doing everything every other receiver was doing with a lot less than they are. This year, you will hear me say he is the second best receiver in the league behind DeAndre Hopkins. I think you put DeAndre Hopkins or Odell Beckham Jr. on the Steelers, on the Falcons, and I think you are saying something absolutely disgusting.
What about Antonio Brown, bro?
Here's the thing. I think Antonio Brown's a great receiver, but I don't think he's as good as Odell. I think if you put Odell on the Steelers, you put these last couple of years, you put Odell on the Steelers, you put Antonio Brown on the Giants. Antonio Brown's not having the kind of year Odell Beckham Jr. is coming out.
Also, I don't know if we're going to factor personality into account.
I don't care about personality. I'm talking off of talent.
Skills.
I'm talking straight off the skill set.
Brown is an even bigger head case than
Yeah, I know. I don't understand when people give Odell Beckham Jr. shit. Antonio Brown's even worse. You just don't hear about it in the media because he doesn't play for New York. But Antonio Brown, head case wise, even worse than Odell is. But off of pure talent, I don't think Antonio Brown's doing what Odell is in the same line he is.
Kind of the same shit with Ben Roethlisberger. Like,
Yeah.
could you I mean, I know everybody says, "Oh man, imagine what would have happened if we hadn't traded for Eli and kept Ben Roethlisberger." Could you imagine the PR shit shows that Ben would have had in New York?
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. We had Phillip Rivers, by the way. Yeah, we had Phillip Rivers, dude. We didn't have Ben Roethlisberger. We had Phillip Rivers.
No, they were planning on selecting.
Something just happened.
Yeah, they were planning on selecting Ben. All right, but let's keep this about what it was supposed to be about.
Yeah.
It's about Odell's talent. But yeah, I think that's it. I think Odell is good, but I think Antonio Brown's phenomenal. I think he's the third best receiver in the league, but I just can't see it. I can't see Antonio Brown doing what Odell did on this team the last few years. You know, I just don't see it. What do you guys think?
Odell is probably the number 1 or number 2 right next to D-Hop, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, Odell plays bigger than this.
He plays a lot bigger than his
type of
size.
catch.
Yeah. Dean, your mic.
Like sideline catches, one-hand catches. What else? Like just amazing catches, reliable, and I think he's grown up this past offseason, and he's probably one of the best receivers, top 1 or 2, right next to D-Hop, Antonio Brown, and probably Julio Jones.
That's the thing. You know, I don't think there's another receiver in the league to where every single time they touch the ball, you have a feeling that he just might take it to the house. You know, like Antonio Brown, when he catches the ball, you're like, okay, good catch. When Julio Jones catches the ball, you're like, man, it's a good catch. When Odell Beckham Jr. catches the ball, you're like, holy shit, there's more to this play going on. Like, there's still more to this play. There's more happening after this catch, you know? And like I said, I don't think any receiver has better hands than Odell in terms of spectacular catch. Antonio Brown may have a little bit more for sure hands, you know? Like, I would trust Antonio Brown to catch a ball in wide open space than I would Odell Beckham Jr., but I think OBJ has bigger play potential, right? Is Antonio Brown a better route runner? Yeah, but Odell's been in the league half the amount of time he has. A little more experience. I think Odell's going to run routes better than he does. You know, I think Odell's just as good at the jump ball as any receiver in the league with that one-handed grab. He can go up there and extend his height with one hand and pull it down. You know, I mean, last week we saw him almost make that one catch, you know, twice, bobbling that. No other receiver in the league is even going to get a shot at that ball. You know? Yeah, he didn't catch it. Like, he didn't catch it, but I don't think any receiver in the league even gets a shot at catching that ball. You know? That's just my thing, though. I don't know, man. And I'm not just saying it because I'm a Giants fan. Because for a while, I didn't even like Odell Beckham Jr. I just respect his talent. You know?
I laughed when he hit that net and it came back and hit him back in the face.
Oh, that was so freaking funny. I swear to God. I was just sitting there laughing like, what an idiot.
Remember the fight he got in with that tree when he played for the Rams?
Yeah, that was funny. All right, go ahead, Dean. I know you feel opposite as us, so go ahead. I want to hear it.
All right. Well, when I first compiled this list, I was going by the six, but now you're all around play. Nikki, you're gonna hate me over there. And by the way, this girl Nikki Eddie, that's in the thing. I actually wrote the Giants and got her son a gift package from the team, a signed card, jerseys, everything.
That's
Her
awesome.
kid met Odell twice.
That's
So I'm
crazy.
happy.
Yo, write a
I'm
letter
good.
for me, man. Dang.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Me
be.
too.
I know, man. You must write one hell of a letter, man.
Well, I might people that know a couple. But all right, so how am I gonna do? All right, I have 7 wide.
Did you hold on? Did
Right.
you just say 7 ahead of Odell Beckham Jr.? Dean, I love you so much.
No, not
But
7 above him.
Oh, okay. I was like, bro, I love you so much, but I
No.
can't even listen to what you're about to say right now. Okay.
No.
Okay. I was about to say.
For the last
I was about to be like,
couple years
nope. I was about to be like, no.
Wah, wah, wah. All right. At number 7 this year, I
ahead.
got. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna put Adam Thielen at number 7.
Okay.
Julio Jones at number 6.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill at number 5.
Ooh. Okay.
Michael Thomas at number 4.
Mm.
OBJ at 3. D Hop at 2. AB at 1.
I think if you're coming off of purely this year, yeah, I could see that. If you're talking of just off of production
All-around
this year.
potential, 1 AB or 1 OBJ. 2
Oh, okay.
AB. 3. Definitely the freak DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Or the Tyreek Hill. I mean,
I
he's
wish we had
another one
that Odell soundtrack though. Odell, what's with you, Odell? I wish we had that right now.
What's with
I don't
you?
have that one.
What's with you?
I wish we had that.
Did you see that Francesa rant? How I guess there's a podcast making impressions of him. He's like flipping on him. Dude, I was
Yeah. All right, let's go
Oh,
ahead.
my goodness,
Ned, what do you
Francesa.
think, man? You got any opinion on this?
Yeah, I'd still keep him in the top 3. What I will say is that I want to see what OBJ does when the offensive line
Gives
has
him time to actually run a post route
He,
or something?
gives him time and potentially see what he does with a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Because what I've noticed, and this could totally be a result of Pat Shurmur's offense, is that I haven't seen Odell really kind of take one to the house, so to speak.
This year.
Where we're traditionally used to Odell, you throw him the ball in a slant, he'll break past somebody outside. With
Yeah, and he's just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we know OBJ as.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen that this year.
Mhm.
Now, am I saying that makes him a bad receiver? Hell no. He's still got amazing catchability. I just don't know because we haven't seen anything like that before. Anything like that since the injury. If maybe the injury took a little bit of, speed from him. I when he's running, maybe a little bit of elusiveness. I want to see him really take one to the house before I declare. Before I still say, the old OBJ is back. Obviously, he's still a great wide receiver, even if he lost a step or two. But that's my real question when it comes to Odell is, does he still have that speed where if we throw him a slant route, he's going to beat that guy on the outside? Or is Shurmur building the offense where he realized Odell lost that step and he's trying to build around that?
Yeah. Oh man. All right, guys. I want to say we successfully pushed up 2 hours. We have 2 more topics, but I want to save those for the next one, and we can continue to build off of these 2 topics we have here. But it's been 2 hours exactly, man.
killing me.
I
was
want
about to go off on this.
save them, man. We still got 2 topics left. I want to hold off on those until next time. But I think this is it, you guys.
Radio.
I think we had a really good show here tonight, you guys. I hope all the listeners loved it. If anybody has a last minute thing they want to say to anybody listening in, you can. And go wrap this up.
Tell them about how much better the interns are at doing the show.
Oh yeah, if you guys loved hearing the intern show, make sure to
Yeah, I'll post a poll on Twitter.
Yeah, post a poll. Hey guys, just want to let all the listeners in here knowing the Bleed Big Blue podcast YouTube channel now has a community tab which is awesome. This is a big upgrade for us. We now have a community tab. We have a way to contact you guys in YouTube outside of just our videos in our comment section alone. I'm going to ask Marco to ask what kind of which podcast you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed our podcast, if you guys really enjoyed the Intern podcast, make sure to message Marco. Go and comment on our video saying how much more you want the Intern podcast.
Yeah,
give us some likes. You know, make sure you let Marco know how much you like the Intern podcast, so we can continue this going and maybe keep this a weekly thing. Every Thursday we could have an Intern podcast. That actually would be really cool. Different topics every time. So you guys can we appreciate all the support, and we hope you guys keep bleeding blue.